Hi guys! Sorry about my appearance, I just woke up from a nap, but I just wanted to do a quick intro to tell you guys that this is going to be a video about Nisu bread. This is a bread that we make traditionally in my family around Christmas time. My aunt would always make it, so this is actually the first year that I made it, and it was a success. It tasted delicious, but I do want to just say that in my house, it is about 65 degrees at all times in the winter, and bread obviously needs to be pretty warm to rise, so my bread did not rise as much as it will. If you are in a warmer state or you make this in like the summer months, then it will definitely be fine. My bread was just a little bit smaller than it normally would be, and you can remedy this if you have a heating pad. You can use that to kind of help your bread rise, but we didn't have one, so it tasted delicious. It was just a little bit smaller than they normally are, and yeah, I hope you enjoy the recipe. For ingredients, you'll need 2 packages of dry yeast, 1/4 cup of lukewarm water, a cup of sugar and a little extra to put on top, 4 eggs, 3 to go in and 1 to go on top, 2 teaspoons of salt. All we had was the kind in a grinder, so I made do. You'll also need 8 cups of flour and a little extra to knead the dough in, 2 cups of lukewarm milk, a stick and a half of butter, and cardamom seeds. Cardamom seeds come in, I don't really know what to call them, little pods, and you just break them open and there'll be little brown seeds inside. They look like this, and you're going to need about 15 to 20 of them, and then you're going to grind them up because you need about a teaspoon, and it should look something like this. Once all that is prepared, you're going to take your yeast and dissolve it into your lukewarm water. It is super important that the water is lukewarm because otherwise it will clump and it won't dissolve well. You might even want it to be a little bit warmer than lukewarm. As you can see, in my house it was cold, so it clumped, and I just used a spatula to kind of scrape it until it dissolved. And this is what it should look like in the end, just super watery and smells of yeast, which is kind of gross. But you're going to pour that into your mixer. You're also going to add your cup of sugar, your 3 eggs, your salt, your lukewarm milk, your softened butter, just a little bit of your flour, you don't need to add all of it yet, and your cardamom that you worked so hard on. Next, you're going to put the guard down on your mixer, and I would say you should mix it on low because it's pretty watery at this point. You don't want it to splash over the edge, but it'll look like this, and then you'll just add your flour cup by cup until you get all 8 cups in. I had to change the part on my mixer into a hook so it could knead the dough properly, and just keep on adding the flour and it'll thicken up into a dough. It should end up looking something like this, and when it does, just turn off the mixer and bring your dough over to whatever surface you'll be kneading it on. The dough is super sticky at this point. I underestimated exactly how sticky it is. You are going to need flour, as you can see, to knead it, and you're going to knead it until it is firm and smooth. The bowl next to me on the cluttered table is to put the dough in. You're going to have to butter that bowl, and when it is ready, put it in there, cover it up, and let it rise for 2 hours. Once your dough has risen, take it back to your floured surface, and you're going to turn it out, and you're going to knead it some more until it's smooth once again. And once this has happened, you're going to split it into thirds. I used pizza scissors because it just seemed easiest, and then I made it into nice little loaves kind of, and then I used them again to cut those thirds into thirds, so you'll have 9 balls of dough. Okay, so then you're going to sprinkle a little bit more flour down, and you're just going to roll each ball into a rope of dough. And you want them to be somewhat similar, obviously, because they're going to be braiding them together to make a loaf of bread. So sometimes you have to kind of pull pieces off and redistribute them into other balls of dough, but just keep going, braid, braid, braid. It doesn't have to be perfect because if this is going to rise again, you're going to put it on a buttered baking sheet, like so, and you're going to let it rise for about another 2 hours. And voila! It should look something like this. You're going to take your last egg and you're going to beat it in a bowl, and then you're just going to spread it lightly over the top of the bread. This will give it a nice golden color. Then you're just going to sprinkle a little bit of sugar over the top. I had already baked 2 of my loaves, as you can see here. is what they're gonna look like, and this is the unbaked one. So I just pop that into the oven at 375 for 25 to 30 minutes. For me, it really was about 25 minutes, and in the end, it should look like this. So make sure to tell me if you make this recipe. It is literally my favorite bread on the earth, and give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and I will see you in my next video.